Right now, Italy is hosting the world again for the 2026 Winter Olympics. And while these games want to build something that lasts, we went looking for what that legacy can really mean once the athletes are gone and the cameras have moved on. Because last time, some of Italy's Olympic venues were simply abandoned. We're entering the forest to be more hidden. Let's look for an entrance if there's a hole in the fence or something. Look, you can still see the Olympic rings here. And the scenery is quite something.
This was built, 2006, now 20 years later they're building a new one in Cortina.
Bringing this back in using order would be way cheaper than to rebuild a new one.
So we up there, do you think they see us?
In this video, we explore two former Olympic sites, constructed specifically for a global spectacle that lasted just a few weeks.
Again, we are avoiding the workers by finding a path up the mountain, past them.
Everything looks still so brand new, those cables, the lamps.
To jump from here.
Man, can you imagine this madness? While new venues rise, the old ones remain as scars on the landscape. Too expensive to maintain and too costly to erase. Let's take a look at the real Olympic legacy. Welcome to abandoned Italy.
Another morning in Italy. This time we found ourselves a nice little hotel. Unfortunately, power isn't working. We had to bring our own light sources. But what's nice for once, the flush is working and even the water, at least in the showers. But no electricity also means no hot water. There's no room service here and also no breakfast, so we had to bring our own food again. But let's get a quick look around here. We arrived in the middle of the night and didn't see anything of this place. We will go into the Alps again for some explorations. But first let's get going and check out this place before we leave. Everything is pristine here.
Just some footprints.
There were only some animals before we came.
Looks like ready for chicken. Right. We've been in Airbnbs that's been way worse.
This place is not abandoned for long, but this one looks like from the 90s or something.
Check this out. They even have the folded thing on the toilet paper. All the towels, everything fresh cups.
It really seems like an untouched hotel, but we already saw some spots that were kinda looted, so we aren't the first people inside here. But maybe the first one after the place closed that sleep here. This is the reception. We have to hide a little bit so no one sees us. But here you can see everything is looted. They even ripped apart the computers, so there's nothing of value left. This place is so weird. I mean, actually not, because that's normal in hotels, but we are in an abandoned hotel and usually when you find something like this, it's all destroyed. Look at this, it's all open, you can just walk inside and then you wouldn't expect to find rooms that are still untouched and pristine. And as far as we know, this whole place was shut down after the COVID lockdown because there weren't any guests coming anymore.
Check out the pizza ovens.
Classic Italian.
2 ones with firewood, 2 electric ones. There is even the pizza thingies.
Oh wow.
And the plates.
Oh man, I wish I could have some pizza now. Well, luckily we bought some pizza from yesterday. So today I want to explore the abandoned venues of the Olympic Winter Games 2006. We don't know how much of it is accessible. Let's get going, we are already too late again. We wanted to meet our buddy Chris there, basically in 5 minutes, but it's a 1 hour drive, so I hope he hasn't started already.
Meet Chris, a local explorer and friend, and someone who's been incredibly patient with us over the years. Back in 2023, he reached out after finding places he knew deserved to be documented before they vanished. Many explorations later, he's become part of the journey, and you'll see more of him in the upcoming seasons of Abandoned Italy. Last autumn, we teamed up again to see the Olympics ghost venues. We're entering the forest to be more hidden. Man, this scenery. At the first sight, we spotted movement near the base of the complex. With cable thieves recently caught here, we had no idea if there were any security or cameras. So we took a detour up the mountain, keeping our heads down and staying out of sight. Okay, we made it to the top. We can see the building already peeking through the forest here. Let's look for an entrance if there's a hole in the fence or something. Perfect. I think that's the way. We can take a 5-minute break before we go to be ready if we need to be ready.
Oh, it was exhausting.
Yeah, man. Proper hiking trip. Whew. We were approaching the Olympic ice track of Cesana Barrio. For 2 weeks back in 2006, the world's best athletes rocketed down this 1.4 kilometer long course. "20 years later, the site sits dormant, winding down the southern Alps like a scar through the forest. It was built for 7,000 spectators, but for years now, it's been empty. We kept low and moved uphill through the trees toward the place where the races started." Okay, maybe we can find a more comfortable entrance than this. You can see the camera?
All cameras, I hope. They were along the track too, those cameras.
The scenery is crazy. There's a big camera, but this one was for the bobsleds, I guess.
That was the TV camera?
Man, why we did not bring a board? What? Keep low profile there, people. Peek around the corner.
It looks very close.
We gonna check here? Well, this could be it, huh? Funny. This one is much more easy.
That's cool.
It's a what?
Scare for people. Wait, probably before the race. This is still from the Olympics.
Changing rooms. Here you can see how the people stole the copper. They really took everything. I mean, even this small stuff here. Why all of this is so cheap? I thought it's Olympia.
They're trying to enslave public.
Here is where they had the torch of the Olympics for 2006. It was stored here during the Olympics. And in this one, they had the medals for the athletes. They were on display. Because I think this was for interviews. With that there, torch, medals, and the journalists. But I remember watching it because I was 22 when they happened. So I remember the torch and all the chaos around here during the Olympics. It's just sad that then sports like Bob, there are not that many people that actually do it.
True.
I recognize this guy right away because he's like one of the most famous sports people from my region, South Tyrol. And we just looked it up. He won a gold medal 2002 in the Olympic Games, and like that's when that picture was made. And also in this Olympic Games of 2006, he also won a gold medal. And here there was his sleigh and also the clothes he was wearing in the Olympic Games of 2006. And yeah, they even wrote his name the wrong way. Like there's an E missing after the G.
Yeah, it's not really an Italian name. Maybe that's why they wrote the name wrong.
So we got one to slide down. This venue hosted 3 spectacular disciplines. Luge is the fastest event in the Winter Olympics, hitting 150 km per hour, steered with tiny, precise adjustments. Bobsled is a team sport with 2 or 4 athletes in a heavy sled, where finishes are often decided by hundredths of a second. And skeleton is just pure madness. Head first, blasting through these curves with their faces only centimeters above the ice. They had this to protect them from the rain. It's too much noise. Every now and then, the wind carried noise up from below, a reminder that we weren't alone. Look, you can still see the Olympic rings here. So we stayed tight to the concrete to keep a low profile.
There's another start here. What do you think? On the right?
Possible.
After the Winter Games in 2006, this place stayed alive as a training venue. And it even hosted the occasional competition. But by 2011, reality caught up. Keeping an ice track like this running means spending millions every year just to keep the channel frozen. So the old refrigeration system was dismantled. And instead of rebuilding it and bringing the track back to life, Italy chose a different path for the 2026 Winter Games. A new sliding venue, built to modern standards, while this one has been forgotten.
This was built, 2006. Now, 20 years later, they're building a new one in Cortina because they said that it would cost too much to put this one back to optimal conditions. Let's put it away with all the safety things and everything. So it's too expensive for the town to keep up, and they had to shut it down, sadly. But I have a feeling that the next one, the same thing is gonna happen because it's not a very popular sport in Italy, sadly.
But I saw an interview of a guy who said like bringing this back in using order would be way cheaper than to rebuild a new one. Because like most of the infrastructure here seems to be fine, I guess. For the new track, there were also some protests, like environmentalists were organizing protests against it, because it was also like in the middle of the nature they built it. So I just looked up the cost of the new bobsleigh they built in Cortina, and it tells me the new one costs 118 million euros. That's such an insane amount of money.
How much was it to repair this one?
10 million.
Yeah, I mean, there are some minor damages you see here and there, but as you said, the infrastructure is still here.
Total waste. 180 million. Such an insane number.
The community inherited the monument it never really needed. With no use for a venue like this, yet no money to erase it either. Now it's finally set to be torn down, for a staggering 9 million euros. The glamour of the past Winter Games has long worn off, leaving a warning written in concrete. While this year's event in Milano and Cortina is being presented as more sustainable, spread across already existing venues, one decision exposed the limits of that promise. The Olympic Committee urged organizers to use an existing sliding track just across the border. But Italy chose to keep it at home and built a new one instead. Just half an hour from the abandoned ice track, there is another symbol of the same unsustainability, fenced off but left to rot. The Stadio del Trampolino, where back in 2006 ski jumpers once launched into the air.
Okay, there's a formerly abandoned hotel right next to the ski jump, and they are working there at the moment. So let's see if we can enter this place or not. Are we up there? Do you think they see us? Yes.
Just to get to the top, you literally have to walk there, not in the woods. There are steps that go up, so
Okay.
pretty visible. Unless they leave before we do that. But
Yeah, hopefully they finish the work here soon.
5 ski jumps were built here, inside a village of barely 700 people. Beyond the Olympics, this site was meant to live on as a national training hub, created to shape the next generation of Italian ski jumpers. But with space for up to 9,000 fans to watch the spectacle, it was built for a future that never came.
Again, we are avoiding the workers by finding a path up the mountain past them. Let's see if we can enter the property from up there.
By 2009, it was game over. The jumps were shut down and branded a monument to wasted public money. Around 34 million euros had been spent, only for it to be abandoned to vendors.
I think this is where the on the door it says weather office. So it might have been either the judges or the weather where they check the wind for the jumpers. Because if it's too windy, it's too dangerous to actually jump.
On the judge's tower.
Yeah. Man, this terrace is nice.
You can only get to that through a window. Open the door.
Man, the scenery. Woo. Trees already reclaiming the stairs. Can you imagine, man?
Jump from here. What the fuck?
Man, can you imagine this madness?
Let's get up.
Das Sessellift verlassen, was denkst du?
Now the fun part starts. The most steepest part.
These green rubber mats were meant to protect athletes. Now they are breaking down into countless plastic threads the wind carries everywhere. Everything looks still so brand new, those cables, the lamps. For years the community has been searching for solutions, not to give these jumps a new purpose, but to make them disappear. Investors weren't courted for a comeback, but for demolition. And yet, sections of the complex are still in surprisingly good condition, like a place frozen in time.
Let's get some water.
Man!
Not in the last door. We parked it now and it's 100 meters to the place.
How is it working? And then standing like this. Man, this is terrifying as hell. And this already, the ride is horrible, but then you need to jump, man. How the fuck they do this?
More like flying than jumping.
Yeah.
Nice new fit, Jobii. Half of the tree is on you.
They're the workers.
I think they're calling each other to leave. Now we can cross there.
Let's go.
Well, if it's trashed like this, there should be an easy way in. Yeah, that's the way in. They already have this to prevent birds from flying against the windows, and still there's this little dead fella. This place smells burned. These are pictures from here. I'm kind of sure. It's the same lamps. And this is some sort of model of a mountain, maybe? Yeah, it's like little fake trees, snow powder. And it was simulating a mountain, I guess, with these different peaks here, here. Man, they smashed everything.
Here it just says the suit made for the competitions of the Olympic Games in Turin. So it's probably the standard one before they made the modification for all the different nationalities.
Not much left.
You know the sugar that you put in the tea, Candice, looks like this.
Yeah.
With the Winter Games back in Italy, the promises of a legacy have returned, again. But after seeing what gets left behind, that word can sometimes become an excuse for venues too specialized to reuse and too expensive to keep alive. And while the event can create real, long-term benefits for local communities, what we witness today isn't sustainability. It's a bill that lasts for decades. And if nothing changes, legacy can just become the polite name for the mess left behind when the lights go out. And speaking of legacy, our last upload was a recap of our 10-year-long journey exploring abandoned places here on YouTube. We also shared what's coming next, a TV project that takes us back to the Balkans in just a few weeks, and later this year we will be filming in Switzerland too. So if you're a local explorer yourself in one of the regions, or you would just like to meet up or host us, feel free to send us a message. We'd love to hear from you. And also, we'd like to say thank you. All those legends here on my left side and many more are the ones that making these videos possible in the first place. If you want to be part of keeping this channel alive and independent too, feel free to join our Patreon. With the money from Patreon, we just bought a new camera to improve our content, but we also fund our trips and other expenses of maintaining the channel. And yes, we hear you. Many of you have been asking for the return of our series Abandoned Italy. Today was just a little taste. Here's a sneak peek of what's coming next.